is a start.
It's a good start.
It's a great start.
Yeah, it's the first win.
And why do we play?
You play to win the game.
And what do we want?
I want winners.
I'm not bipartisan. I'm not bipolar. I'm not Biden.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. If this is your first time watching, adapt and respond. Thank you for joining us here. We talk football, college football, NFL football year round. If you're into that, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and answer the question in the comments below. Why the hell would you make Joe Flacco your week 1 starter against the Bengals and announce that now? Our friends at Bet Online have the win total set for Cleveland at 5.5. Nobody expects them to be any good. Nobody expects them to do anything other than rebuild and try to find their franchise quarterback going forward so they don't have to do some of the wild things they did in the NFL draft and have what looks like some disagreement among the ownership, the head coach, and general manager about just who should be the guy. Now, Kevin Stefanski's pretty outstanding offensive coordinator, right? Give him a quarterback that can work, and it feels like he might be on to something. But the Browns still can't overcome being the Browns. Jimmy Haslam goes training camp, tells anybody that'll listen, hey, Andrew Berry made the pick to go get Shedeur Sanders. And that was very clear from the outset because they traded away the number 2 overall pick where they could have had Travis Hunter. They sent him in Jacksonville for a whole boatload of stuff. And that's what GMs love, boatloads of stuff. They don't really like players, apparently. And then they draft Dillon Gabriel in the 3rd round, who's about as old as Kenny Pickett is, but has been decent. He's also played enough college football to have played more or to start more games than any other person in the sport with over 60. We're also talking about a dude that finished number 2 in most passing yards in NCAA history, touchdowns, the works, because he got to play 6 years of football. UCF, and then Oklahoma, and then Oregon, where he's Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year, led them to a number 1 seed, Big Ten championship, college football playoff quarterfinal appearance. Okay. Then you have Shedeur Sanders, who was falling through the draft, even as Daniel Jeremiah, Mel Kiper, Todd McShay, draft nicks you know about, had him as a top 25 player, meaning they expected him to be one of the first quarterbacks off the board. He was not. And he fell into day 3, if I got this right, of the NFL draft. Now, more importantly, Andrew Berry traded up to the 5th round to go get him because he was still there. I think he would have been there in the 7th round. He might have even been there as an undrafted free agent, and you could have got him for little to nothing. But Berry really liked Shedeur, and he wanted to put that guy on their depth chart. Now they're going to carry 4 quarterbacks: Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders. The way the depth chart usually works is who's making the most money. Okay. At the bottom of this, I should also say Deshaun Watson is there. So is Tyler Huntley. They got 6 quarterbacks and no starters. The joke that people want to make. But if you think that Shedeur Sanders is going to be the guy, or you think Dillon Gabriel is going to be the guy, why not give them the opportunity to run it at the controls? Now, I understand you don't want to ruin anybody's confidence, but this worked for Peyton Manning in the Indianapolis Colts because they were committed to Peyton Manning. He threw more interceptions than anybody else. He was terrible. He was bad. But you need the opportunities, and you need the reps, and you need the game prep, and you need to go through this thing so you can get good. Instead, we're seeing a 40-year-old quarterback who won a Super Bowl 13 years ago lead the Cleveland Browns. Now, he played 8 games last year, but they won just 2 of them. And he was decent, but he wasn't great. Now, if he was great, Aaron Rodgers, for instance, you might want to go along with this. But I don't get this. This doesn't make much sense to me. I'm not going to start the 40-year-old quarterback just because I trust him the most. I'm going to start the guy who's got the most talent and can get me where I want to go in the years to come. We need to grow up as a football team. You're wasting the last years of Myles Garrett being elite. You have an elite corner in Denzel Ward. You have a great safety in Grant Delpit. You have a great tight end in David Njoku. Matter of fact, your tight end room is low-key pretty killer. Njoku, Harold Fannin, if you keep Sal Cannella on this squad, you got Jerry Jeudy out there. You just signed Isaiah Bond for nothing. You've got guys. You can make this happen. You've seen Caden Davis really answer the bell. You're going to go get Quinshawn Judkins back, we think. Dylan Sampson's going to be a monster. You could be great. You could be. You could also just be a 5-12 team. That's okay if you have a rookie quarterback that you are committed to developing. And now you got 2 rookie quarterbacks that aren't developing at all on the field. Now, I realize you want them to get acclimated to the NFL. You want them to get acclimated to what it's like to travel with this team, acclimated to the training camp, the practice schedule. and you wanted to remove any more conversation about who your starting quarterback is going to be going into your last preseason game this week. I understand all of that. I still think you should have gone with Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders. And right now, it doesn't feel like either one of those boys is playing, outstandingly well. And then Dillon Gabriel came with a backhanded slight, so we thought. He says it wasn't. Talking about some guys are entertainers, sometimes are competitors. I'm here to compete. Shedeur Sanders didn't deserve none of that, dog. Like, he didn't. He has comported himself with absolute class. And up until that moment, so did Dillon Gabriel. Okay? Shedeur, upon watching the tape, right, I rewatched the game and I rewatched the Dillon Gabriel game, and some of y'all are right, and I'm going to say that I'm wrong on this. Shedeur outplayed him. Shedeur outplayed Dillon Gabriel. I thought it was neck and neck. I thought it was pretty close. But if you're looking at just how they were running the offense and this really interesting play-action waggle that they wanted to run with every single quarterback that was out there, from Stoop Huntley to Dillon Gabriel to Shedeur Sanders, the only guy that seemed to make that his play was Shedeur. And it feels like that's right there on Kevin Stefanski and Tommy Rees's play card. Like, they really like that play. And the idea that Dillon Gabriel threw an interception on it, when you really should have just thrown the football away because your tight end and your wide receiver didn't know what the hell they were doing, you can't force that play. Shedeur threw a touchdown pass on that play. You roll him out, you give him time, he's comfortable. Now, running backward for 30 yards, he's going to have to stop all that, but he thinks he's Deshaun Watson. And not for nothing, they paid an arm and a leg to get Deshaun Watson, who would be their franchise quarterback if he hadn't been all nasty. Now you're in this spot where you got 6 guys that you're paying money to play quarterback, and not one of them is the kind of guy you think can start in the NFL long term. Joe Flacco's best years are behind him. He is holding on for something that will not be here in 2 years. He will be out of the league. He will not be playing NFL football at this level. He might be somebody's second backup or third string, but he ain't going to be starting games. The only team that would start him right now is the friggin' Cleveland Browns, which should tell you everything. In a sport where quarterback is king, and in sports, the most important position in all of sports, quarterback in an NFL program, you can't afford to have a placeholder here if you want to develop into the kind of team that wins championships. And Cleveland ain't been about nobody and nothing since Bernie Kosar. And the last time we could even think of Cleveland being good, Jim Brown was in the backfield. And oh, by the way, that's one of the greatest football players to ever walk the face of the earth. I want this to work out. I wanted to make sense of this, but it just doesn't, except to say you're CYAing, which is what coaches do, general managers do, and owners do. They pass the buck, right? Does it matter to them that they suck? Yeah, it does. But it matters more to us as fans, especially if you're a fan of the Cleveland Browns or you're a fan of Shedeur Sanders, that you're going to suck in perpetuity. Matter of fact, I know people that are rooting for Shedeur Sanders that could care less about the Browns, and yet they said, damn, he went to the Browns. He deserved better. He precious. They need to protect him. Maybe this is their way of protecting him. Maybe this is Andrew Berry's way of protecting him, because he's the dude that was standing next to Shedeur Sanders saying he was excited for him. He's proud of him. He played well. It's clear that he's invested in him. I'm not at all clear that Jimmy Haslam is. He owns the team. Kevin Stefanski, right now he's invested in Joe Flacco. We'll see who he's invested in a little bit later on. But we're going to continue to watch this as we can keep making segments about this, because we're going to do more NFL football, not a whole lot. We're a college football show primarily. But in cases like this one where I am invested and I want to do the segment, we're doing the segment. I have been following Shedeur Sanders' career since he was in high school. I've been following Deion Sanders' career since he got into coaching. I'm fascinated by the family. I'm fascinated by what they're capable of. I mean, not for nothing, Colorado had a freaking Heisman Trophy winner, finished tied for first place in the Big 12. That's pretty cool. And it is America's favorite football soap opera to watch. Going to be interesting to see it the rest of the way.